liberal tears gun oil because America.
Hey guys, Stag, Wolf and Stag Wastelanders. So I've talked about in a previous video that I did for all of our channels here for BitChute and YouTube. I've talked about the lore, kind of touched on the lore and the reasons for our stuff doing what we're doing. And I kind of explained that there's actually an extended video over on Patreon that goes through the lore of it. The next thing I want to touch on is survival. So we're out here. Obviously, this doesn't look like very good terrain to survive in, right? It's going to be real difficult. And if there weren't people out here shooting, which, again, you're allowed to do that. This is state land. This is state trust land. And a lot of people come out here to shoot, including myself, and Wolfen's come out here with me in the past when he's come up to Wyoming. But as you can see around me, this is the kind of terrain that we're talking about, kind of the post-apocalyptic, got to survive, right? Well, if there wasn't anybody shooting out here, in the case of survival, we'd be able to hunt all these hills and these canyons around us and be able to get food. It's kind of, as harsh as it looks, game love this kind of terrain. And it's kind of on the survival side. So knowing how to hunt is a big thing with the survival side of stuff. Having those skills to be able to go out and hunt and fish and forage and collect water and do whatever you got to do, having those different sets of survival skills is actually the biggest part of this whole thing. It's one of our biggest parts of philosophy is people's resiliency and people's ability to go out and make the best of a bad situation. And there's going to be a lot of people who don't have those skills. And we would encourage those people that don't have those skills that are watching our videos to maybe start learning those skills. There's a lot of resources on the internet to teach you. There's a lot of good resources. Your state Fish and Wildlife Service, in my case it's the Wyoming Department of Game and Fish. They teach a lot of that stuff. There's even a school out here called the National Outdoor Leadership School. My father was an instructor there years and years ago, so Knowles up in Lander teaches 30-day survival courses. They take you out there. I'm sure it's rather expensive, but they teach you wilderness conservation, survival, things of that nature. And so a lot of my skills that I learned I picked up from my father and from other sources, and I've kind of tweaked and modified and picked up my own kind of plans for surviving in a situation like this. Around this area that I'm filming in right now, you can see there's a lot of dead cedar, a lot of dead timber. Well, people have been living in this kind of environment for thousands of years. It's harsh, it's unforgiving, but you can do it. Not particularly well in this area, obviously, but you'll be able to go and find sources of water, find food, find wildlife, right? So with that, you need to have those skills. Anybody can survive, but there's a difference between surviving and surviving well. Obviously, I've kind of gotten chunky in the years, but I can survive for a few days without food. I can't survive for a few days without water, right? We all know that, I'm not going to go into the timelines and all that stuff. But I have enough fat reserves on me that I could probably survive. But it's getting on towards winter, so that's going to be harsher. We're setting in the fall. Everybody knows that. We're setting in the fall here in the United States. So it gets a little bit harder to survive in that environment. So once winter sets in, it's even harder because this whole area here is going to be filled up with snow. And that's kind of a big deal. So what we try to do is we try to encourage you guys to go out and look at that. I'm gonna try to do this winter, try to do some winter survival videos as best I can. Hopefully you guys see these videos and it really takes off, and you guys start understanding that. You guys start going and helping us out on all of our you're helping us out financially so that we can do these videos. But moving forward from that, and I'm not going to shill much, I'm going to touch on the shill, obviously, because I have to, because this is kind of our deal. This is kind of where we're going. What we want to do full time is bring you guys these videos, bring you guys the lore, and start showing you guys more and more of what it's like out here. If I was really going to be out here on a survival thing, I'd obviously have, you know, my full kit with me, have my war belt, I'd have my, you know, one of my knives with me. About all I have for a knife is this little Kershaw here. It's small. It's not really the greatest knife, but you know, it's gotten me through work and it's gotten me through a lot of things. And that's kind of part of this existence as a wastelander, is learning to survive with the tools that you have. So I'll go into that discussion on that. So learning to survive with the tools you have. I touched on, you know, having the same bunch of equipment over and over again and just using it till it's abused and beat up and pretty much worthless anymore. That also ties into, you know, the tools. So your tools are going to be your firearms, your knives, your bows, your arrows. All of that stuff is going to be constantly the same stuff over and over again, used over and over and over again. You're going to be using those tools all the time, right? So if you have a hatchet, or, again, sorry about my voice crack, I have a fall cold, and I also have allergies, and it's dry out here. Anyway, so skipping that, let's move on from there. So having those tools over and over again. So again, I was going to touch on having a tomahawk or a hatchet that you've constantly used and abused. Having those tools, you have those with you, you're constantly using them. That's, again, leads to more of our philosophy on stuff, is using the same equipment over and over and over again until it's no longer useful to you. So those are the concepts. So I'm going to do a lot more of these videos explaining the concepts and the ideas behind it and how we focus on that, how we move forward. And moving forward, I'm going to do a lot more videos on that, talking about that, and show you guys, and just kind of discuss this stuff. And as more lore breaks, we're going to do more videos of lore over on Patreon, and they will eventually be released to YouTube and BitChute and all of our other channels. But for now, those are going to be Patreon exclusives. As for the rest of the lore, you know, I'm going to touch minorly on things with the lore. So I'm going to keep doing videos like this where I explain the basic concepts of it and kind of talk to you guys about, you know your equipment, use your equipment. Don't constantly try to go and get the latest and greatest. You know, this guy said this rifle's great, so I'm going to go out and get this rifle now. Well, this guy said this handgun's great, I'm going to go get this handgun now. Well, then when it hits in a worst case scenario, what are you going to do with all those tools? That you're going to have to abandon some and take some with you, right? So take one with you and abandon the rest. You know, sure, you could hand them out to your friends, but what if your friends already have all those tools, right? So that's kind of our philosophy, again, behind doing all of this stuff, is just all of the same equipment over and over again. And I hit that, and we keep hitting that, and we keep stressing that. But that's the philosophy behind the survival. So you only have those tools with you to survive. And those tools include, you know, your knowledge, your experience, your education on what's edible, what's not, your education on how to set up a shelter, and things like that. So we're going to do more videos on that, and just kind of due to the ammo crisis right now, we're going to kind of get away from the shooting and kind of lean more into the survival and the explaining the situation. So it's been Stag with Wolf and Stag Wastelanders. I hope you guys stick with us, and I'll see you out in the wasteland. Hey guys, Stag, Wolf and Stag Wastelanders. I just wanted to come out here and take a moment to talk to you guys while I'm out here in the wasteland and mention that we have a Patreon account. I'm sure you guys have seen me post about it plenty and seen myself and Wolf and all over social media. But we wanted to let you guys know that we have set up a Patreon account where you'll be able to go over and see exclusive videos from us, behind the scenes, things like that. Every bit helps us film and helps us create better and better videos as we go on. So if you guys could find it in your hearts to go over there and become a Patreon or a patron, we'd really appreciate it. For $5 a month, you can get the basic entry package, and it goes all the way up to $100 a month, where you'll get to see exclusive behind-the-scenes videos. You guys will get to see plenty of what we do and how we're doing it out here. So if you guys wouldn't mind, head over to Patreon. The link will be in the description below me, and it'll also be in the first pinned comment. If you don't feel like being a Patreon or a patron, perhaps maybe you guys could consider just donating to us directly on PayPal. That link will be in the description below. Also, if you really like what you're seeing, go ahead and share out our videos, comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon that should be somewhere down here, and you'll get notified whenever we do new videos. We're trying to make this a full-time thing, guys, and we can only do that with your help. If you guys could share out our videos, like, subscribe, tell your friends about us, and even visit us on our social media. We're at Wolf and Stag Wastelanders over on Twitter, and I probably butchered that. But we're also over on Parler. So if you guys want to come out and talk to us directly, you feel free to do that. All of our social media will be posted down below. We also have a Facebook and an Instagram account. So if you guys could find it in your hearts to donate to us and help us continue this going, please visit the PayPal link below and the Patreon link below. Everything will be in the description and in the first pinned comment. So, thank you guys again, and this has been Stag with Wolf and Stag Wastelanders. Be safe out in the wasteland.